Hey guys, welcome back to another Sunday video. Each week I go through the markets and I talk about setups and ideas for the week ahead. Things like the dollar, things like gold, different currency crosses like pound dollar, euro dollar. We're going to jump into all of those today. So do me a favor, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you want to see more Sunday videos, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first place I want to start, of course, is the DXY. The US dollar has been on an overall really strong move to the upside, and very quickly you can start applying some moving averages and see, very clearly that there is a strong uptrend here for the dollar bulls out there. And so my goal here with looking at the dollar is not to try and call the top here. You have a lot of people who are probably looking at this thing and saying, oh, it's probably time to roll over. It's going to crash back down the other way. But for me, the path of least resistance here until further notice is still to the upside. Now, there's a couple reasons behind that, but on top of, this really incredible strong trend, which by the way, price action wise is just really, really impressive, right? You've got the moving averages lined up. You've got pullbacks being bought up, higher lows, higher highs, and overall still this move to the upside that I think is still, underway. Is that, guaranteed to continue higher? Maybe, maybe not, or actually definitely not. Nothing is guaranteed. But this concept here, a lot of traders would say, oh, well, this looks like it's getting tired. It's going to reverse. But a lot of times you just see something like this, where you see consolidation before the next wave higher. So I'm not trying to call any tops here. My opinion is to continue to go with the flow here, which is dollar strength. And from a technical analysis standpoint, I do like this thing as potential breakouts this week. So a couple ideas. If price pulls back deeper, there may be opportunities if you are very much bullish on the dollar to look for pullback plays. And then there's also the scenario here where you get the breakout and continuation. So truthfully, I'm looking for buys either direction at this time. That could change in the future, but if we get a little bit more of a dip there on the RSI, if we see a little bit of a pullback there, that may be an opportunity for in my opinion, to look for long setups. Now, of course, the DXY is not something we'll trade. We'll actually go trade things like EURUSD, pound dollar, dollar yen, etc. But I use the dollar index as just a gauge to see overall what the price action is looking like. So just looking at this, I want to be a buyer at good, healthy levels, and I've been a buyer for the last few weeks and have had some really good trading. So we'll see if that can continue going into next week. Now, before I continue, I do want to say, you guys, that the A1 trading community, we have this code available down below in the description for 25% off right now. If you haven't already joined the group and you have an interest in doing so, today is your chance to do it. 25% off. You get access to all of our trade alerts, chat rooms, educational material that we have. We have so many different features available. We have experienced analysts that are FTMO funded, MyFX book verified. We have the real deal full of traders that are looking to help bring you to the next level. So if you're newer to trading, if you're wondering, what the best place to start is, I do honestly recommend our community. And there's a link down below in the description if you'd like to read through these things yourself. Again, you get access to our chat rooms, our coaching calls, trade alerts, and full analysis with every signal that is sent, etc. So if you have any interest, again, click the link down below in the description and use code YTVIP for that 25% off while it is still lasting. Okay, so I do want to show you guys really quick Forex Factory just to see what's going on here in terms of the news this week. Well, Monday and Tuesday seem a bit quiet, so we wouldn't expect too much volatility there unless something very surprising happens. But Wednesday, things get very interesting. You have US CPI, you have a meeting from the Fed on Wednesday, which both of these are very market moving potentially. And of course, for us Aussie currency pairs, we have unemployment numbers coming out. So keep an eye on that. PPI on Thursday and core retail sales. So big week for the US dollar. So just be on the alert for that. Those could be market moving, especially if you're a day trader. You may want to either avoid or at least be cautious about your trading during those times. Let's move on to Euro USD. We'll take a look here, and it does seem like the path of least resistance is continuing here. We have this downtrend still in play on the euro against the dollar. Now, towards the end of the week, we started to poke up into that overbought territory on the RSI, just showing that, we have started to actually see a pullback now, or in at least what I would be treating as a pullback. I've been, basically bearish biased on the Euro USD for a few weeks here, and looking at this, I would be interested to see if there's any pullback setups this week that maybe I could look at possibly shorting. Now, we don't have an incredibly clean pullback idea. We did get this impulsive move, so truthfully, I would be mostly interested on the lower time frames. It's something like the 1 hour chart here, maybe a little bit of a pullback action there at the 61.8% retracement. That could be an area of interest to me, something like one of these, right? Price pulls back up to 61.8 and just continues the trend, right? So that may be something I'm looking at this week. Of course, if I take any trades, you guys will see them inside of the Discord, as I just mentioned. That code down below, if you've been meaning to join us, there's your chance. But the 61.8 does look appetizing to me on the EURUSD. We saw, the pullback back here. It wasn't a very strong one, and it wasn't very long before sellers just absolutely sold into it. So I would be cautious about that going into this upcoming week if the euro wants to get stronger. Whoops, sorry about that. The video cut off a little bit. There we go. Back to normal. So EURUSD, anyways, the final thoughts, like I was saying, is maybe looking for that euro to strengthen if there is anything there. 61.8 possibly could be an interesting zone for me. But the overall moral of the story is dollar strength seems like it's prevalent. And until it changes direction, path of least resistance to me looks like to the downside here for the euro dollar. Next up is pound dollar. We'll take a look at GBPUSD here. Now, the pound, I took it short last week, made some money there, not a whole bunch, but made a little bit of money shorting on this retracement here. Now the question is, you sort of saw this. So this is what I was thinking with my last trade. I shared this inside of the group. I was able to get short right around here. So I took the short, right? And then price went just against me a little bit, went down in my favor. Things were looking really good. And I chose to actually close out of the trade. And I'm glad that I did. I closed out because I didn't love the price action right around here. Saw something on the lower time frames that just said to me, hey, you know what? This thing is most likely going to continue up and make a higher low. So for now, I am looking for something very specific on the pound dollar before getting short. I'm looking for a break of this trend line here. So again, trend to the downside, yes, but we do have this sort of counter trend. And I'd love to see as a bear here, or more likely a dollar bull, I'd love to see a break to the downside underneath that just to show that the dollar is still strong enough to contend here with the GBP or the Great British Pound. So again, a couple things that I'm looking for are overall this downtrend to continue. I'm not necessarily using this fib anymore. My main goal, like I said, is just to see if this trend wants to roll over. If it does, maybe we look for a break underneath this area. And then, of course, you do have a couple levels of support. If this level were to break, this would just be an added bonus, sort of, I would say, as a sort of confluence factor. If you saw this trend line breakout, and then also, sort of that support level breakout. If you get pound weakness this week, I think that there may be opportunities to sort of hop on board with that. Now, that is, of course, my opinion. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go do these. These are trade ideas that I am personally looking at in my own personal account. So that's what I like for the pound dollar. I think, again, path of least resistance seems to be to the downside. Nice trending market here going lower. So that is what I am looking at for the time being on GBPUSD. Now, the also question is, for the bulls, truthfully, this has been an impressive rally. So if you're able to see the pound dollar break out higher and you think that the dollar is weak, there may be setups like this to consider, right? And that's not something that I would personally trade because of my fundamental bias to the long side on the dollar at this time. But to be fair to the bulls, again, nice breakout there, could offer some momentum plays and maybe interesting for people looking to buy the retracement, right? So just a couple ideas there on your GBPUSD. Next up is dollar yen. Dollar yen was my big winner for last week. You can see I basically got in on the pullback here. So I'll just show you this trade breakdown really quick as we get into this. So I ended up buying the dollar against the yen as price retraced to the 50% retracement. So here's where I got in, right? So price went up. I decided, okay, pullback. Ooh, there's the pullback. I got in on this candle. Waited for a little while, and then price really started moving, looked really great. I got trailed out on this candle here, took my profit, and I was done for the week. And then, of course, what did it do? Well, it did a little crazy end of the week rally. So unfortunately, I missed that last part, which would have been great. But again, the problem is those words are dangerous. Shoulda, coulda, woulda is a very, very dangerous game to play if you're going to be trading Forex and trying to actually make money in it consistently, because that's a game where you can go in circles, right? Oh, I should have done this. I could have put more money on it. I could have, taken profits, right? That's a dangerous game to play. So I think I played this very well personally. This is a signal that I shared inside of the private Discord. I'll actually share what that looked like for you really quick. Let me see if I can just pull this up. So here we go. So dollar yen, this is where I closed profits on pound dollar. So you can see I didn't really love the price action, so I chose to close out of that trade. But then holding UJ, oh, where did I take? Oh, here's UJ. Okay, so here was the trade that I shared. Let me pull that back up. The trade that I shared on USDJPY here. I keep messing that up. Again, looking for just upside continuation there. As price was selling off, I basically bought that retracement. Things looked pretty dang good price action wise. Called that one out in the Discord, and fundamentally it was strong on the dollar, rising 10-year, all that sort of stuff. Just looked very, very good risk reward wise. So I ended up taking that position, closed out, and again, you can see there's what it looked like, right? Just a crazy, bam, huge run to the upside. And I didn't take a picture of the other side, but here it is. You can see, again, major continuation there on the dollar yen. So ended up closing out of that for the end of the week. Really good week last week inside of the group. So we'll see if we can catch some more action going into this one. So again, I do like dollar yen to the long side. I think this thing has more potential, but I, again, will be on the sidelines looking for pullbacks. If this thing continues to rally, then I'll just be like, hey, you know what? I missed the trade. It's all right. I missed this part of the trade. I caught this part, right? So my goal with looking at the dollar yen is pullbacks. Are there any pullbacks coming into play for something like this, right? Maybe a pullback to that 38.2 looks pretty good, right? Maybe that's a chance for me to re-enter and get back involved. Now, I'm not going to be chasing this thing, and whatever I do, I'll be, keeping my risk to reward relatively tight. I like to share or put out my trades inside of the group, and one of the things that I maintain is I am fairly conservative with my stop losses, or I guess I should say pretty tight with my stop losses. If I have an entry point, for example, if I'm saying, hey, you know what, I think I'm going to go long here, my stop loss is not going to be, way down here. My stop loss is going to be pretty reasonably close, just because, again, I'm looking for that bounce, and if it holds, it holds. If it doesn't, I'll just drop out of there and look for another chance later on to get back in. So that's my thoughts on dollar yen, looking for pullbacks. I'm not going to rush on this one because, again, I do think also that even that 38.2 may be a bit of an aggressive entry because you do have this sort of level here. And the thing is, this is a situation in which I actually would be willing to be aggressive because this was such a big level of resistance here, right? That when price broke out of it last week, as price retraced, or as price potentially retraces, that same level could be very interesting to a lot of bulls who were like, ooh, I missed it over here, but can I get the bounce back? So I actually may look to be aggressive there. If I take that trade, like I said, you guys will see the analysis inside of the group for those of you who are in the Discord, but my goal is to watch dollar yen continue it into this week. I'm still very bullish on this currency pair and looking for more buys as I have been. So there you go on USDJPY. Next up, we'll take a look at gold XAUUSD. Taking a look at gold here today. So gold took a little bit of a jump there on NFP last week and then rolled right back over. So my thoughts on gold, I've already sort of clarified this. I'm overall bullish on the dollar. So I'm just not incredibly, I'm very strongly neutral on gold right now. If anything, I am slightly bearish because, again, that dollar seems very strong and very justified. So if anything, continued lower highs as we've been seeing seems like the norm now. And for now, I would be looking personally, if I was going to be trading, if I had to take a trade, I'd probably look for this to break and then look for some sort of pullback to get short on. That is just my opinion, but again, just sort of going with the flow here. You do have some levels that you can see marked out on the chart. We poked up, look at this, we poked right up into that RSI overbought, and bam, sellers just came in so strongly on that. So my view here is that with gold, watch out for rallies. I'm using the RSI. It's not a magical indicator. I just use it as a filter for, times when price is poking up extensively. And that, to me, in the context of a downward trend, is likely a scenario where bears are like, ooh, let me take advantage of this premium pricing, right? So that's my thoughts on gold. If anything, I do think that it is bearish for the time being, unless the dollar somehow suddenly very, very strongly changes directions and we get some very fundamentally sound catalysts for dollar weakness and hence gold bullishness. For the most part, like I said, path of least resistance seems to be to the downside there for XAUUSD. We'll take a look at USDCAD here today. Dollar CAD sold off like crazy. So the CAD must have gotten even more strong than the dollar on Friday, which I believe was in response to the numbers, the unemployment rate numbers, which were incredible. Look at this, hindsight bias. I should have bought here. I closed out right around there for break even, I believe. If I had held it, I would have been looking really, really good. But that's the problem with hindsight. It could have also gone the other way, right? So anyways, USD CAD. So dollar CAD is one that sold off really strong last week and really showed a little bit of clear direction here. This is not one that I personally would trade because, again, I am sort of bullish on the dollar as well. So for the time being, I would personally avoid this currency pair. If anything, you do have some bearish structure, so maybe there's some pullback plays. But overall, something more like CAD yen, absolutely very interested in trading this one. Maybe we get a pullback on this one as well. That could be interesting. Something like that 50% or the 61.8 looks really good there. If price were to give you that dip on the 4-hour chart here, maybe that's an opportunity for the bigger, longer term bulls to pick up some real strong positions. So I might be watching that going into the week. I do like the CAD long and the dollar long as well. So that's going to be pretty much everything for me today, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said before, the A1 Trading Discord community is available down below in the description for 25% off. If you made it to the end of the video, like I said, if you've been struggling in your trading, you're newer to this stuff, and you're really looking to join the right community, this really is the place to be. It's no hype, no BS, no gonna get rich quick, nothing like that. It is literally traders from around the world coming together, working to create the best community and to share ideas and insights with one another. So if that sounds good to you, if that sounds helpful to you, like I said, we have a full staff and people that work very hard to make this the place it is. And I would very, very much appreciate if you come give us a try, because I am very confident that we will earn your desire to stay with us for the long term. So with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching today. Have a great rest of your trading week, and we'll see you back next time.